And I'd like to welcome you all to Module 3. We'll be covering the Mail app on your iPad, learning about email as well. The WildTech DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual help, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information, any applications, or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners, or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thanks so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you cannot see me, hear me, or see the screen, please let me know in the chat and I would appreciate that. Let's make sure to keep our TVs and cell phones silenced to give others, and most importantly yourselves, the most immersive experience. And let's make sure to have some kind of notes next to us so we can record some information and review it for later. I see we may have some participants, maybe your first time attending Module 3, so I hope you all learned something new. And again, thanks so much for joining us. If you have any iPad questions, general help with your iPad, please email us at helpdesk@wildtech.org, or you can call us at 202-800-6868, Monday through Wednesday and Friday from 11 to 2. If we call outside of those hours, please leave us a voicemail and we will get back to you as soon as we can. So please take advantage of our phone and our email. Looking at the participants list, I see that everyone in Zoom has their name in Zoom that's on the call right now, so thank you so much. Again, you can just tap on participants, whether that's at the top or the bottom, and then as long as it says your first and last name, me, great, that means you're good to go. If it doesn't have your first and last name, if there's an iPad in front, that's okay as well. But if you want to change it, you tap on whatever says me, and then you hit rename, edit your name, and hit done. Okay, but everyone in Zoom now has their names in Zoom. I appreciate that. Thanks so much for joining us today again. To keep our meetings organized, I just asked that you use the raise hand feature. You can find it in the toolbar, either during and or at the end of the session. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions using this feature. So again, if your toolbar is at the top, you can hit more and then tap on raise hand. Or if your toolbar is at the bottom, like mine, I can then tap on reactions and then tap on raise hand. Okay, so I want everyone in Zoom to please raise their hand. And if you're here ready to learn about email, review email, to welcome our newcomers, wish everyone a great weekend, a happy Friday, happy National Space Day, etc. Thank you again, especially our newcomers. Would love to again see for you to raise your hand. Again, that's how we have our organization, our etiquette. So again, everyone in Zoom, please raise their hand. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you. We have about 9-10 hands up. I really appreciate that. And you all can now hit lower to lower your hand. It's so easy. All you have to do is hit lower at the bottom, just like I did. And that's how once you're called on, don't forget to lower your hand. Thank you so much. If you want to communicate with others non-verbally, the chat is a great way to share a greeting, ask a question, send your congrats, anything you'd like. So if your toolbar is at the top, again, you can hit more just like before, but then you'll hit chat. When you tap on chat, you'll see the meeting chat window come up and it will say tap here to chat. And then you can type your message in and send it using the blue button on the right-hand side. And if I go to my Zoom, my toolbar, again, all I have to do is hit chat to then access the meeting chat. And again, just make sure it says send to, make sure it says everyone if you mean to send it to everyone. Make sure it says one person if you mean to send it to one person. Okay, so let me write hello, and I'll make sure it says send to everyone. And because today is, again, National Space Day in India, but nonetheless, I'm going to put some space emojis into the chat. So some astronauts, some spaceships, some meteors. You can have a lot of fun with the emojis and the text as well. So please continue to utilize the chat throughout the session. Let's have a great weekend. Good afternoon. Thank you. Appreciate that, you all. Again, I hope you all have a great weekend. Happy Friday. You can even send a photo in the chat by hitting the plus sign right here. And then you can hit photo and add any photo from your Photos app. So here's one that someone shared. Even though it's not morning, I like the message. And this was from one of our module sessions, that picture as well. So any kind of image that you want to share in the chat from your Photos app, you can do so with the chat. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Sherry. I love that message. Thank you. Love it. And please continue to share your thoughts and messages in the chat throughout the session today. If you all, excuse me, could also share what were your favorite Zoom sessions this week and why. I'd love to shout them out throughout the session today as well. We had Margaret on both Tuesday and Thursday. We just had our advanced sessions this week on our iPad update and mid-year app review. We took a trip to the UK and Ireland today. We had our modules this week. So again, thank you so much, you all, for joining. Again, if you could share your favorites in the chat, I'd love to shout them out. Okay, so first up, we are going to cover what is email. Then we'll cover how to use the Mail app on your iPads. And last but not least, we'll be covering some safety tips and of course our Q&A. All right, so first up, what is email? An email is a message that is transmitted and received by computers through a network. And an email system allows computer users on a network to send text, graphics, sounds, and animated images to other users. Without an email system, there would be no email, and vice versa. This video here talks about how does email work. So just more informational, nothing you have to utilize when using the Mail app, but it's always good to know a little bit of context of what's going on. So when you hit send in an email system, whether it's the Mail app or whatever that's used, how does the system know who and how to send that particular email? So I hope you all learned something new, especially our newcomers as well, and enjoy the video.
When you send an email from London to your friend sitting in San Francisco, it somehow manages to find its way to the right address in a blink of an eye. But how does the email work and how it reaches the right recipient so fast? Let's find out. Thanks to the internet, communicating via email is almost instant. When you type your letter, enter the email address and click send, the email is sent almost instantaneously to the receiver. It looks like an amazingly simple process, but there are multiple stages called hops and multiple rules called protocols that get involved in the process. Before we look at the process, let's take a look at the main components of an email. For any email to be sent, you need a sender email, which is your email address, a receiver email, which is the email address of the person you are sending email to, the body of the email where you type the message, and a send button to send the email. The email address contains two parts combined with @ symbol. The first part identifies your username and the second part is the email service provider like Gmail or Yahoo. They are also called as email client. The set of rules governing outgoing emails are called Simple Mail Transport Protocol or SMTP. It is what your email client uses to send your message to your email server. The set of rules that governs the incoming emails are called Post Office Protocol or POP. POP allows the email messages to be kept on server so that you access and download it from your device. Once downloaded, they are deleted from the server. Internet Mail Access Protocols are the set of rules that also govern the incoming email. It is used by the receiver's email client to fetch your message from the email server and put it in your inbox. This allows the email messages to remain on the server and you can access them anytime from your device. The messages are not deleted from the server. When you click the send button, the email is sent to your or sender's email service provider. The SMTP of the sender's service provider then uses the service called domain name system or DNS to find the name of the email service provider of the receiver, after obtaining which the sender's service provider sends the email to the receiver's email service provider. The receiver's email service provider then sends the email to the recipient's inbox, from where you can open the message and reply to the email. Hope you liked this video and learned some fun facts about the email.
Yep. Again, thank you all so much for watching that video with me. And again, it just showcases how generally an email is sent through those different protocols and processes as well. Thanks so much for watching. So when we think about email, first we got to think about actual mail, and the term snail mail, which is used to refer to mail that is sent in a traditional way rather than by fax, email, or other means of electronic communication. And emails is a message that is sent directly from a user's mail program to another person's email address. So without, again, snail mail or mail in general, you would not have email. So mail nowadays can be sent in 2-3 days within the US. If you're sending something within DC, it may take about a day. But if nowadays, most things can be sent through an email, which happens instantly. If I send an email to myself, I guarantee you I can open it within 15 to 20 seconds or send an email to you all directly to your email. It's very fast. So even with that, mail in general is still necessary for packages, physical items, or excuse me, legal documents that require different signatures. The first example of email can be found on MIT computers in a program called Mailbox. These users would leave messages for other users to read, but it only worked if they viewed it on the same computer. In 1969, the US Department of Defense implemented ARPANET, a network connecting multiple computers across the department. The message on the right was the first to be sent from computer to computer. So before, they would have to use the same computer. The person in the night would leave a message for the person in the morning to read, but only if they saw it on the same computer. So it was when they implemented the system to be able to connect computers across different departments. It was 2 years later, in 71, when Ray Tomlinson invented and developed electronic mail or email by creating ARPANET's networked email system. He also invented the @ symbol, which we'll talk about now. So this is an email address. What is an email address? This is the general format of an email address. It's going to be something at something dot something. That's how I taught myself, just to kind of think of the format. Okay, it consists of 4 parts, and which is an unique identifier for an email account. So there's only one email. There's no other, like my email, which I'll talk about throughout the session today, is abell@wildtech.org. There is no other abell@wildtech.org. So all email addresses are unique. If you try to create an email account that someone's already used, then you won't be able to use it because it's already being used. So it's a unique identifier. It consists of 4 parts. A username. It's usually the name of the person to whom the mail is sent. So again, my email is abell@wildtech.org. Abell is my username, and it's the form of my name, but it doesn't have to be my name, right? Your email could be catsanddogs527@gmail.com, or pineapplesmoothie582@yahoo.com, etc., or anything, right? it could, as long as it's no one else has used it and any special characters, you can use that username. So it doesn't have to be your name. More professionally though, you'll see it's some form of the person's name. You have the @ symbol, which separates the username and domain name. Notice there's no spaces, everything is together. So again, the @ symbol separates the first and third part of the email. The third part is the domain name, which refers to the mail server. So we all know iCloud, Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, MSN, Comcast, Verizon, etc. Whatever email that you use, after the @ part before the period is the domain name. So it again tells us what kind of mail server the others or ourselves are using. And last but not least is the top level domain, or TLD, which tells you what type of web page you are using. So we'll talk about that now. Again, it's the last segment of the domain name, that part that comes after the dot, each one representing a type of entity. So you have .com, entities that engage in commerce like Amazon.com, Google.com, Yahoo.com, Giant.com, Safeway.com, etc. So it's a very common TLD. .org are used by nonprofit organizations. WildTech is a nonprofit organization, so that's why my email is abel@wildtech.org, right? .edu are used by educational institutions like colleges, etc. .net are used by network providers. One example can be Comcast.net. And last but not least is .gov, government agencies. So everything from DACL to these public schools to DHS, those are going to be .gov email addresses. Of course, there are some other ones as well, but these are some of the most common. But again, for an email address, we have the username, the @ symbol, domain name, and top level domain. So this example, again, you have something at something.com, it's all together. You'll see, we'll talk more about email addresses throughout the session. Okay. Do capitals matter in email addresses? The answer is no, they do not matter in email addresses. So when you're typing your email address in somewhere, don't worry about the capitals, just type in the characters in the right place. Again, there is no difference between the two emails that you see here, right? Except that the second one at the bottom is uppercase, the first one is lowercase. Which one is the easiest to type and read? The first one, right? Because it's all consistent, it's all lowercase. And it's again the easiest to type in. So again, modern mail servers essentially ignore capital letters. So that means with this list right here, if I send an email to any of these emails, they're all the same, but you see the difference. Some of them are uppercase, lowercase, etc. Because it's still at the end of the day, user1@icloud.com is going to send to user1@icloud.com. The easiest to type and read again is the first one. There are no spaces, and you don't have to put any capitals in email addresses. Now, if you send to email to user11, that's user11, that's not user1. If you send to email to use AR1 or 2S's or 112, again, if it's anything besides user1, it will not send to user1. So when you're typing in an email address, make sure that it's the correct email address. So that way you can send it to the right person. Some advantages of email include that it's free, you only need to be online, it's quick. Again, if I send you all or myself an email, it's pretty much sent, delivered, and received almost immediately. So it's a very, very fast process. It's simple. Once you know how to utilize the mail app, it's very easy to compose and open and create and reply to different emails and search for things. As well, because with email, it's so much easier than going through different papers in person. There's a search bar in all email servers where you can search and reference different emails that you've gotten. It's accessible, you know, you all have iPads, you can use your iPad to access your emails, etc. But again, you only need an internet connection on your device, and it's paperless. So email is twofold. It's beneficial for the planet, and it's beneficial for ourselves and our wallets, because the more paper that's available, the less it costs altogether. So more paper, less cost. So if you do need paper for something, it's going to be lower than you think, just because email has come about and it impacts our lives. Okay, so those are just some general advantages. And then last but not least, for this section, if you had another email that you wanted to create or a previous email that you haven't added to your iPad, one big advantage of the Mail app is you can have different email accounts in one app. If you have the Gmail app, you can only add Gmail accounts. If you have the Yahoo Mail app, you can only add Yahoo Mail. But with the Mail app, you can have a Gmail, a Yahoo, a Outlook, all in one, and you're able to look at your different inboxes through that manner. So, and if you want to create or add an email account, this is what you do. You're going to go to Settings on your iPad, and you're going to go to Settings. And on the left-hand side, you are going to find Mail. Okay, Settings, then Mail. Then you're going to hit Accounts on the right-hand side wherever you see Accounts. And then you'll see your different accounts that you have on your iPad. So again, if you were not getting any emails at all, I would go in this section and just make sure that you may need to re-enter your password. So if I wasn't able to get any of my test emails, I would go in that section and see if I needed to re-enter any information. But if you wanted to add an account, you hit Add Account, and you see all the different options that are available. So Microsoft Exchange, Google, Yahoo, AOL, which also has Outlook as well, or Verizon. So whatever server that you want or would like to utilize, you can select. So if you wanted to add or create a Google account or a Gmail, you would hit Google and either sign in to that account you had before or create an account by hitting Create Account. Same idea with Yahoo. If you wanted to sign into a Yahoo email you had in the past or create a brand new Yahoo email, you can do so in this section. Okay, so again, Settings, Mail, Accounts. Then you hit Add Account if you want to add the account, or select the email account you want to check at that point. Then you select your email provider. So I'm putting this in the chat again for you all, and follow the prompts on the screen. So that is how you add or create an email account on your iPad. Again, if I wanted a Gmail, a Yahoo, and an AOL on my iPad, I could do that with the Mail app. So I think it's a big advantage of the app. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Okay. Any questions so far about anything we covered today? We learned how to add an additional email. Again, you can raise your hand if you have any questions in Zoom. We went over the advantages of email, went over do capitals matter, top level domain. We learned what an email address is, some history, how does email work, what is email? Any questions so far? Before we move on to the actual Mail app. Okay, I don't see any questions, but again, I'll be asking throughout. So any questions, please make sure you keep that in mind throughout these sessions. So next up, how to use the Mail app. So this is the app that we generally help you get on when you do your one-on-one trainings with us or when you did them. The Mail app allows you to do many different things, like of course, read emails, add contacts, and preview your email content. So this is what a typical inbox will look like if you're holding your, or Mail app will look like when you're holding your iPad horizontally. You have your inbox here on the left-hand side, and this is where you can see who sent the email, the subject of the email, and a little bit of the email itself. You can add contacts. You can see that this person, Ashley, which is who received the email, has Jacqueline in their contacts because of the picture and their name is set up in that section as well. So you can even tap on that section right here and add a person's contact to your contact app straight from your email app. And again, you can read emails and see a little bit of the email before you open it, okay? If you want to organize your inbox, you can use a simple swipe to move emails, mark them as read, and some other features as well. So I'll be showcasing the inbox. So first I have to go to the Mail app, and it looks like an envelope, right? And this is the inbox of my test email right here. But this is the email from my other email. So it's cool. You can be in one email from another email that you have on your iPad that's in the inbox of another. So that's really convenient. Of course, I can tap on any email to open that email. But in your inbox, you can adjust individual emails by swiping left on them. So from the right to the left, you see if I swipe to the left, not all the way, just a slight drag of the finger. And you can access these different options that come up. So more allows you to reply all forward, archive a message. I'll talk about archive in just a second, among some other features. You can do that here. You can flag a message. So you're literally putting a flag on the email, right? So it stands out when you're in your inbox. And you can also archive the message. So archiving simply means removing it from your inbox, but you're not deleting it from your server. So like if I hit archive, I just archive that email from Fandango, right? But if I hit my mailboxes icon at the top left and go to all mail inside my test email, look at that, there goes that Fandango message, right? So archiving simply removes it from your inbox, but you can access the email in the all mail section, okay? If I swipe right on an email, and same with like before, just the opposite way, there are two options that come up. I can mark an item as read. So look, I read the email without actually going into it, right? Or I can mark it as unread. Same button, just opposite thing. I can also remind myself about the email. So if I hit remind me, I can remind myself about the hour, tonight or tomorrow. Or if I hit remind me later, look at that. I can remind myself today. Let me choose the time, maybe at 2:30. It'll jump straight to the top of my inbox. It even says today at 2:30. So isn't that neat, right? So with an individual email, you can swipe to the right to mark it as read or unread, remind you about the email. If you swipe left on an email, you can here, of course, that reminder that you put yourself. You can also, again, hit more to move the email, flag the email, or archive the email. If you want to adjust multiple emails at one time, like if you want to delete quite a bit of emails at once, all you have to do, you'll all see where it says edit in the inbox area, right? At the top left, sort of. But basically in that area, when I hit edit, look at that. I can select emails. Again, I just swipe through and select the emails that I want to edit or move, etc. Look, I just selected 12 emails. I can mark them. You all see the options on the bottom left, right? It says mark. I can mark all of them as junk, as read, or I can flag all of them if I'd like. I can hit move to move the messages. We'll use this towards the end of the session today. I can move these messages to a folder that I've created, or a mailbox as Apple calls it. I can move it to here, but let me hit cancel. Or I can archive them, all of the messages. So I can remove all of them from my inbox, as I just did, right? And I can see them all in my all mail section. Okay, so that's how you move individual emails and multiple emails at once, just with the inbox. I hope that was helpful. Thank you. If you want to send and compose an email, so if you're just sending an email straight out to somebody, this is how you do it. First, you go to your mail app, and at the top right, not the three dots, right? But the icon next to it, that square with the pencil, that is how you compose an email. So look at the top right. It's not those three dots. Those are different options. You know, you can customize this toolbar here at the top. But I'm going to hit the second to last one here at the top right. And that's how you compose an email. Okay. So let's say I'm sending an email to myself. I type in my email. If they're in your contacts, they come up. For my subject, it's whatever, you know, make it short and sweet. I'll talk more about this later on. We write hello. You know, you should write the name of the person, but I'm just shorthanding it, whatever the message is. And then my ending. So I usually say best and then my name. There's a signature. I'll talk more about the signature in a second, but this is the general format of an email. You got to know who you're sending it to. You got to have a subject, your hello, your actual email, and your ending and your signature as well. Once you type that message in and you reread it, which I highly recommend that you do, you can send it simply just by tapping on that blue button at the top right with that arrow. And that's how you send an email in Zoom. Okay. So I highly recommend, again, just to say hello or anything you like to share. I just put my email in the chat as well. If you would like to send me an email, I'd love to read through them and respond to them next week as best I can. But again, just to practice sending an email, I would love if as many of you could send me an email just with the thing that we learned today. So if you've sent an email before, composed an email in the Mail app before, or if you learned how to do that today, please raise your hand in Zoom. Again, if you've sent an email before, just straight out, just sending a brand new message, many of us have probably replied to an email before, etc., by using what we learned in our session today and previous module threes. So again, if you have not sent an email from your iPad, I highly recommend that you do. Many things involve, emails with sending information, and just being able to read emails is so important these days. So thank you. We got a couple of hands for that. I love to see your emails when you all get to send them. Thank you. Next up, we're going to learn, about the parts of an email message. So again, kind of what we just went over in a little bit more detail. So first up is the recipient. So the to. So you're going to type in the name, or if they're in your contacts, or the email addresses of someone that you want to send the email to. Of course, you can send it to multiple people. It's not just one, right? So once you type in the first person's name or email, you hit return, and then you can type in more. You can have more than one person in the to section, CC section, etc. These sections. You can have more than one person. The carbon copy and blind carbon copy. So CC, carbon copy, is a public copy. BCC is a blind copy. What do I mean by that? So for this email, it's being sent to username. User 1 is CC'd and user 2 is BCC'd. Username can see that user 1 got the email, but because user 2 is blind copied, the username or user 1 will not be able to see that user 2 got the email. A CC is normally used if you want to notify someone that you're sending an email, but they don't necessarily have to respond. I get CC'd on quite a bit of emails, but I may not be the main person they're speaking with. They just may need to, or I might have just needed to be notified about that particular email. So if you send something to, let's say, a friend, but you want the other friend to just know that you received it, but they don't have to necessarily respond, I would CC them. Blind copy, though, user 2 is no one's able to see that user 2 got the email, but user 2 is able to see that username and user 1 received that email. So again, if you want to blind copy everyone on the email, if you just put persons in the BCC, no one will be able to see each other's email. I think that's so important. If you put everyone's email in the to section, everyone will be able to see who else got the email based off the email address. So if you usually use the BCC if you want to, again, just hide everyone's details. So only the person who sent the email will know who received that particular email. So again, username is being sent the email, probably the main person. User 1 is CC'd, they may or may not have to respond. And user 2 is blind copied. So for whatever reason, the sender did not want the other people to know that user 2 got the email, so they put them as a BCC. Okay. The sender is who sent the email. So if you have more than one email account, you can just simply tap on whatever email account that is there and change it to whoever you want to send it from. And it's important. You may have a work email and a personal email. You don't want to send a personal email from your work email and vice versa, right? So keep that in mind, okay? The subject is what the email is about. Keep it short and sweet. You know, a long subject line will discourage folks from reading the email. So again, what is the email about? In like 2, 3, 4 words, you know, something like that. If you can't help it, that's okay, but just don't make it like a sentence or put your whole email in the subject. Keep that in mind. Next up, we have the actual contents of the email. So we have the salutation, your hello, your hi, your, you know, however you like to greet folks. Just keep in mind the tone you're trying to set. You have the email body. So don't write like paragraphs on paragraphs, right? If you have a like a paper or a document, I would add that as an attachment. If it can be helped, right? But I would try to keep the email body short and sweet. And second to last is the closing. So you have your hello, XYZ, I need help with this, this is my document, etc. You know, and then you have your closing. So your best, you have a good day, you know, well wishes, etc. And then of course your name. So more formal closings are like sincerely or thank you, or more friendly closings can be talk to you soon or see you later. So again, keep in mind the tone you're trying to set. And last but not least, you can actually have a signature that you add to each of your emails. So more friendly emails might just end with their name, but more professional emails may have other details in their signature. You can edit your signature on your iPad by going to settings on your iPad. So this is how you can edit your signature. You find mail on the left-hand side, okay? And instead of hitting accounts, you just swipe up until you get pretty close to the bottom. And look at that, it says signature. So you can have a signature for all of your accounts, the same one, or you can have a signature for each of your email accounts. So just for me, just to keep it simple, I'm going to use one for all of my accounts. If I send an email from my iPad, you can have emojis and stuff. You can utilize some of the text changing options. Like you can make it bold. Like if I hit the B right here, I can make my name bold. I can make my name italicized or anything italicized if I want. You know what I'm saying? I can hit the return and go to the next line, and I can make it underlined if I want to. So however you want to format your signature, you can. When you send an email, you notice it has those emojis and stuff before, right? But now the signature right here, if I go to my mail app and I open a new email, close the keyboard by hitting the bottom right key, look at that. There's my signature that I just edited. You can make it as unique as you would like. You know, sometimes people put quotes in their signature or a link in their signature, or again, you know, their cell phone, if you put your phone number as well. I typically do that when I send out an email for my phone number, any information you'd like your signature, you can do so with settings on your iPad. I hope that was helpful. You can schedule an email to send later. So when you're sending an email, hold the send button instead of tapping on it. So let me open a new email. Let me do this. XYZ, you know, just a general email, right? However you want to format it, once you're done, you hold the send button. You don't hit it, you hold it. And look at that, that drop down appeared. So now I can send it now if I want, send it at 9 o'clock tonight, send it at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Or if I hit send later, I can choose any day that I want to send the message. So look, I can be not a little preposterous, but hey, a little creative. Look, I can choose even to send in years, right? Or next year, or in 10 years, I can set that up, right? But no, I'm not going to do that, but you certainly can. Maybe send that message to yourself in a year. I think that would be quite interesting. And I can choose the time. So let's say let's do 2:30, right? So in 10 minutes, this email will send. So once you have the date, the time, even time zone you can choose if you want. But there you go. Once you're done, you hit done. And there you go. You can send an email for later. So, you know, for our daily emails, they get sent at around in the morning. We're not up you know, in the morning send those emails, we send them for later. So, you know, you can send an email later if you want to. So I hope that helps out as well. You can add an attachment to your email. So you can add a photo or a video or a document that you have on your iPad. There are two ways to do so when you're in an email, okay? Let's go to our mail app like before and open a new message. When we do that, we do everything we did before. You type in the email that you want, the subject, and once you're in the email, you have two options, right? Like the actual body. So you see where the cursor is, right? Where that blinking line is, that's where we're about to type something, right? So keep in focus on that. You can tap on that blinking cursor and you see these different options. So of course, some general email options like selecting text, adding a link if you want to add a link to your email, format, like if you want to bold, italicize, underline anything. But look, we're going to hit the arrow and look, it says insert photo or video. So I can add any photo or video, many ones, just one or many different ones if I want. And when I'm done, I hit the X. I can also tap where, again, that blinking cursor is and hit that arrow. I can also attach a file. So any document that you have on your file or on your iPad in your Files app, you can add like a PDF, etc. Let me do that one more time. You can also even scan a document. So let's say I have, let's see, this paper, right? I have this paper right here. If I wanted to scan this document or paper, I can do so with my iPad. So if you have a form that you need to scan, you can use your iPad to scan that document and send it to the appropriate person or even yourself as well. It's so easy to take a scan of any document. Like if I wanted to document this pad right here, this paper right here, I can do so with my iPad with the scan document feature. And last but not least, you can insert a drawing as well in your email. So look, I can use my finger, you know, hello. I can do so just with the email or the mail app, right? I can type or draw. I can choose a color if I want to and draw and insert a drawing, you know? So it's all about choosing the tool that you want, right? And you can have fun making a drawing, you know, or write something else. You can hit the add button right here and even add a sticker. You can add text right there if you want. You see that? That's pretty cool. Right, I just wrote my name just because. You can add a shape, you can add a signature to your drawing if you want, even a description, many different features as well. Once you're done, you can hit done and look, hit insert drawing. So you can even, again, insert a drawing into your email as well. That's one way to add a photo, a video, or a drawing. Thank you for your question, Miss Laura. So again, all you have to do is when you hit scan document, all you have to do is it's using the camera on your iPad. So literally, I would take my, you know, document, place it on a table or something, hit scan document, and then it will automatically detect the document or the page that you're working on, and it scans it for you. So I would definitely try to check that out. Another way to add a photo, video, scan a document, etc. If you're in the body, right? Look, I'm in the body. Again, you have to tell where the iPad to go. So look, there's the cursor. But above on the keyboard, you all see the letter W, right? Above that, that's a little camera icon. Same kind of options. Photo library, you can choose a photo to add. You can take a photo or video with that option. So literally if you want to take a photo or video of what's around you, you can do so. You can hit scan document and scan that document, that piece of paper, that file, etc. that you have, and put it in the email as a PDF. Same idea with the text. So you can scan text. If I wanted to scan the text that I written or have on a piece of paper or a document, etc., I can scan that text as well. If you look to the very right of that, above the letter P, above the delete key, the backspace key, That's the document option. So look, I can add a document just like before, or add a drawing by hitting that drawing icon. Same idea. So again, that's just two different ways to do the same thing. To be able to insert a drawing, a file, a video, a photo, etc. Right? So I hope that was helpful. Again, I just sent that to myself, so very easy to be able to send photos, videos, and documents. I hope that was helpful. Okay. Our next thing that we're going to go over today is how to reply and forward an email. So let's say you got an email and you want to reply to it. This is how you do so. You can also forward an email or send an email that you got to others. So look, there's that email that we did together, right? So there's the gift, there's that drawing, there's that other drawing. So it's really cool to be able to see that. But look, there are three ways to reply or forward an email. At the bottom right of any email, look, my iPad's vertical or it's horizontal. It doesn't matter where it's at the bottom right, you'll see that arrow. When I hit the arrow, reply all, forward, etc. Other options as well. Like here, you can print the email if you wanted to. You know, if you'd like, you can trash the message, you can move it, you can flag it. There are some other options that you see. Before we learned we can swipe left on an email and hit more. And there goes also reply all, forward amongst the other options. Last but not least, at the top in the middle, this is the toolbar. And the very first arrow is reply. The second arrow is reply all. And the third arrow up here is forward. So again, three ways to reply all, forward a message using the arrow at the bottom right, swiping left on any individual email and hitting more, or using the toolbar at the top once you're in that particular email. So if I go to this target email and I want to reply, sorry about that, reply, I hit that, swipe left, or hit the arrow on the email. So again, there are many different ways to do the same thing on your iPad, which is very convenient. It's whatever works most for you. So that is how you reply all, and forward an email. 1 second. And one of the last things that we're going to go over today is how to add a folder. If you want to organize your emails in your inbox into different folders or mailboxes, are the steps that you're going to do. So can we learn how to take a screenshot this week? So you can take a screenshot at whatever point a session that we're on. You're going to hit the mailboxes icon at the top left, and you're going to hit that edit, not the edit in the inbox, but you're going to hit that edit and hit new mailbox in the lower right corner. And so I'm going to showcase that now. Let's go into the Mail app on our device. And again, I hit the mailboxes icon. Again, if my iPad's vertical, I have to hit the square and hit back. If my iPad is horizontal, again, it's a little different. The inbox is already there. So I just have to hit the square icon at the top left. Either way, now you're in the mailboxes section. And if I hit edit right here, there you go. At the very bottom, it says new mailbox. You notice some of the examples that I've done in the past. So you can organize your emails by medical, by news, by bill, by health, by fun, etc. I hit new mailbox. And first I have to give it a name. So let's see. What kind of emails would someone get? Maybe streaming. That's one I haven't done yet, I think. Streaming. So any streaming services, or however you want to name it. So you can put emojis in this section, right? I can just even call it, if I go to the emojis, let me look for TV. There you go. I can just even name it an emoji, right? I'm going to put it into of course, my test email. So you got to make sure, look, it says my test email, and I'm going to put it under my Gmail and hit save. Once you hit save and done at the top, there you go. Look at that. I just saved my TV folder, or my streaming services folder. It appears right here. I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to hit edit next to mailboxes, okay? Not this edit right here in the inbox. This edit right here in the mailboxes. I'm going to hit new mailbox. And just like this time, let's see, streaming. Let's go with water. Like if you paid water, you know, you can put water, you can put an emoji, like that one right there. Or you could do both. So if I put the cursor right here, water, and same thing, I'm gonna go to my test email and put it in my Gmail. There you go, hit save, and then I'm gonna hit done. So there you go, now I have my streaming services folder and my water folder. So there you go, that's how you add a folder to your mail app for your particular account. So if I hit edit, and let's say I move these two emails, okay, these two. Once I select those two emails, at the bottom, it says move. Move to messages. And look at that, I'm gonna move it to my, let's see, my water, even though these are not water, you know, my water bill, etc. Just the idea of having different folders is very convenient. Again, I hit edit in the inbox, not the mailboxes. I'm gonna hit edit. I'm gonna select these three target emails, hit move, move messages, and I'm gonna move them to my target folder. So I have two, you know, just to showcase, but either way, one more time, let's do these three. These three are news ones, so I'm gonna select them. I'm gonna hit move, move messages, and there you go, I have a news folder that I just moved it to. So again, with the mail app, you can have different folders or mailboxes and really organize your emails to how far you want. You know, for myself, I don't use this feature every single day, but it's good to be able to organize, especially important emails, and have them in one place. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much for joining us today, you all. I'm going to go over some safety tips, and then at the end, we're going to do a poll. So make sure you stay on for that. But if you have any questions, please raise your hand in Zoom, and I'd love to answer any of those about email. But I hope you all get to utilize email more and see how important it is to be able to utilize, especially in this day and age. One, never open an email from someone you don't know if you're not expecting that email. If the sender does not seem familiar to you, then you know I would be worried of that email and maybe not even open it. Right? I would also check out or make sure to remember: do not send any personal information through email. Your bank or credit card should never contact you by email to obtain information. If you already have an account with them, they should already have it. So when you receive an email, you got to make sure you read it and be like, hey, if you know you recognize the sender, but when you read it, it seems a little off, then I would be very worried of that. But if they're requesting that kind of personal info, like social security numbers or banking numbers, etc., I would be very, very worried of that. You know, it's okay, you know, to send an email or, well, of course, send an email, but send your address, send a phone number through email, you know. Again, be very worried if you're sending that to, especially an address, you know. You know, sending phone numbers through emails is pretty common, but, you know, especially that kind of information. You got to make sure you double check who you're sending an email to before you send it. Remember that once an email is sent, it can be forwarded to others. So reread your emails before you send them, and just think how the other person would react when you send that email. And, you know, just to think about those things, right? And last but certainly not least, do not open attachments in an email or links in an email unless you recognize the sender and are expecting that email. So for example, like this email from Target, it has quite a few links, right? Like to different things that I can purchase. You know, it's disguised as an image, but those are different links to different things. But because I'm expecting that email from Target and, you know, I trust Target, then I can tap on any of these different options. Same thing for this news that I get. It's called Nice News. So these are different news that are helpful and, you know, that are positive. I like this app. This was covered in our advanced session one day. But look, culture DNA analysis news. That's pretty cool. Other news. Wow. White House announced 150 million in additional funding will go towards efforts. That's pretty cool. You see, I tapped on that link and it takes me straight to that particular article. So that is a link, right? But because I trusted that link and I recognized or read the email and I kind of went through it on my own, I felt safe with opening that link. Okay. Other than that, and these tips, I hope you all enjoyed today's session about email and are able to take advantage of email more. If you need any general help, this is our email and phone number that you can contact. But any questions about anything that we covered today, anything about the Mail app? Any questions? Thank you to our newcomers that are on today for Module 3, maybe not new to our program, but any returnees as well. Thanks so much for joining. Any questions about the Mail app? My favorite feature is just being able to reply in so many different ways, how kind of easy it is to access and maneuver, and to those folders, you know, especially if you get a lot of emails, a lot of different appointments, it can be really helpful to organize your email in a different way. I like being able to adjust my signature, etc. Before having to be in an email, being able to scan a document is very helpful. You don't need a scanner app to do so. You can use the Mail app as kind of like your scanner if you need to scan any documents. Okay. Any questions? All right, I'm going to go ahead and start our poll. But again, thanks so much for joining us today. Once you complete the poll, you are